G'day cobbers. Kitty Green's The Royal Hotel has been well received around the world. Yet, the ending has caused a controversy, even amid this general acclaim. Assuming you've watched this 2023 Australian release, let's dive into why the film's final act has divided critics and audiences alike. Now, I for one thought the film's ending didn't quite fit with what I'd seen before. Wait, no. It's not because I'm a man. Let's look at this final shot. Admittedly, the synopsis of two 20-something female backpackers running out of money and finding themselves in a isolated Australian location does sound like the setup to a horror movie. And this has Daniel Henschel in it, and he was in Snowtown. But let's take a look at this scene early on.
Down the back, up the stairs.
Wait, what? Did she look us in?
Keep it locked. It's a pub, for fuck's sake.
Here, Kitty Green is using the horror trope of characters getting locked in and subverting it with humour. Basically, to me, it was telling me that I shouldn't expect the trappings of horror. But there's something else this scene is communicating, a cultural difference. The two women are Americans, and we get the impression they may have never seen an old-style pub before, let alone one like this. They seem pretty oblivious throughout the whole first act, further articulated by the culture clash in this particular scene. For context, they've just tried to take showers and Hugo Weaving's Billy has just rushed in to stop them from depleting the precious little water the pub has left.
Oh, Jesus. You speak English, don't you?
Yes, of course we do. We're both fluent in English, Spanish too, and a little Portuguese.
Smart c***, yeah? Think you're a smart c***. I like that. Could use one around here. Get some clothes on. It's not that kind of place.
What did he just call me? It's disgusting. They're disgusting.
They are no worse than the bros on the boat.
What? He called me the C word.
Hey, but I don't think that means what you think it means.
No, it means what I think it means, and they don't care.
No, it's like a cultural thing.
A cultural thing?
An awkward situation, to say the least. But I want to get straight to the big one. The word When Liv tells Hannah it doesn't mean what she thinks it means, she is correct. But Hannah is also correct when she asserts she does know what it means. Let me explain. In certain parts of Australia, the word has come to be used as a kind of punctuation. It's essentially lost all connotation with a female body part and is likely to refer to a male as it is to a female. When Hugo Weaving calls Hannah a smart, to Australians of a certain age, he's paying her a compliment. Later, when Hannah is referred to by male patrons as a sour, the key word here is sour. It's essentially come to be used in place of mate, but has replaced that term and come to be used as a catch-all for both male and female. That's why it needs the prefix smart or sour. I'm not condoning the usage of the word, I'm just trying to illustrate the cultural nuance. As Kitty Green herself said, we see him as not that bad of a guy. He starts showing the girls the pub and the beer and he uses the C word early on. And I think that really turns American audiences off and they start to think he's the villain immediately and are so suspicious of him. So are some audiences misunderstanding the cultural context? Is Hannah herself overreacting for much of the film? Let's take a look at a couple of key scenes which illustrate the potential ambiguity some audiences may have missed. This scene immediately follows one in which we've been made aware that one of the English backpackers has missed her bus and Daniel Henschel's Dolly is giving her a ride to the next remote town, while Liv and Hannah optimistically go for a swim.
What was that?
She's laughing. I think she's laughing.
Was there a scream or just laughter? Was there an argument? Did a car backfire? Or something more sinister? And later on...
I can't hear you.
What is Kev there?
Kev, no.
Oh, I can't find him.
Where?
Get off! Get off!
Jules?
What about Dolly?
No, Dolly's banned. What?
Oh,
Jules, are you okay?
I personally thought this was a phone call coming from some sort of party, with one of the English backpackers we met earlier wanting to talk to Kev or Dolly because she'd made a friendly connection with them during her time at the pub. Hannah is obviously very concerned. Here's what Kitty Green herself had to say.
Great question. In your mind, what happened to the British women that called?
I mean, here's the thing. So today I did some Canadian press, and one of the journalists said, "What about the woman who was sold into sex slavery?" And I was like, "What?" She said, "The trafficking ring." I'm like, "The trafficking ring?" She's like, "The woman on the phone who calls from the trafficking ring." And I was like, "Oh my God, no." I mean, so it's sort of like there is clearly a lot of ambiguity in there, and it can be interpreted in different ways. To me, the way we had Alex, the actress, play it was sort of she's at a party and she's drunk and she's like screaming, like, "Get off, like, get off me." Like it was sort of fun. It's interesting that and we knew we needed to thread the needle with it a little bit so it could unsettle Hannah so she could kind of move into that next phase, sort of emboldened to really take charge, I guess. But yeah, it's never explained. I mean, I feel it's weird for me to like tell you what happened or give you exactly what I think happened. I think I'll let you discuss the trafficking ring outside.
Ambiguity is not completely antithetical to horror. In fact, films like The Vanishing or more recently Speak No Evil utilise ambiguity to chilling effect throughout. Yet both of those films have endings which are simultaneously shocking and inevitable. For me, the constant ambiguity of the Royal Hotel was continually undermining Hannah's apparent rising dread, and therefore making her reactions disproportionate to the events we were witnessing. For me, the film's continual deployment of ambiguity also undermined the characters and, more particularly, Hannah's likability. We know nothing about their background, nor any of the events which have led up to our first introduction to them. I mean, has Kitty Green even read Save the Cat? Speaking of unlikable, they lie about being Canadian because we all know how America is perceived globally. Taking precious natural resources, obsessed with the almighty dollar.
No. He'll pay you tomorrow.
Money's in his hand, he wants a beer.
Oh, so you just did it for the money then?
And leaving conflagrations in their wake. Who even asked them to come here? Coming over here, taking our remote jobs. I mean, I wouldn't work there. It's way too far out. Like, way too far out. I could get to LA quicker than I could get to wherever the hell this place actually is. Sorry about that. Anyway, where were we? Oh yeah, likability. They're irresponsible with their money.
Card declined.
By the way, this booze cruise in Sydney's harbour would not be inexpensive, in case you weren't aware. Which leads them to taking a job with a warning attached.
It's a large mining area, so you're gonna have to be okay with a little male attention.
Hannah there resists every opportunity to fit in with the local culture, while we can have reason to believe the English backpackers loved their time at the Royal Hotel. And even Hannah's best friend Liv is apparently thriving in the environment. In fact, she only goes along with Hannah's decision to commit arson after she sees the wound on Hannah's face. A wound caused by the very axe Hannah herself was wielding. Interestingly, again, this is a subversion of the axe-wielding maniac horror trope. So did she go too far? Is this acceptable behaviour?
Hey, where's me rum and coke?
Wait, this reminds me of something from that introductory scene we just looked at. Let's pull that up again.
It's a pub, for fuck's sake.
It's a work environment. I think I'm starting to understand. To some, this could be a horror movie.
trolley. Come on.
What? It's a tip. You getting a tip, Hannah?
Oh my god!
Wouldn't hurt you to smile a bit.
Kitty Green has made a movie which is so honest, so true to life, that my initial misgivings about its ending come from my own subjective experience. While I've certainly worked in some toxic environments and had my fair share of dubious bosses, I didn't see this movie as unfolding in a workplace until after much reflection. Kitty Green has stated that she isn't motivated to make films by a feminist agenda. It's not what motivates me. My work comes from a place of intrigue. I think the things that I find scary or uncomfortable in the world will always be interesting subject matter to me. Whether that's feeling disrespected in the film industry or feeling terrified in a pub when surrounded by drunken male patrons. It rings true for me that while its director is certainly highlighting a certain type of male behaviour, it never felt forced. For the most part, as an Australian, the depiction of the pub's denizens felt more akin to a slice of life drama than that of a horror movie. Green uses primarily diegetic sound throughout, opting for naturalism over emotionally manipulating her audience. She employs ambiguity and a perfectly adept cast to depict a true-to-life experience. I've come to think the Royal Hotel's final act is actually perfect, because it left me with questions, which then prompted discussions and let me view the film then through a completely different lens. Of course, the movie could just be a metaphor for the Gen Z experience. Is the scenery beautiful, as Liv points out, or is it a wasteland, emblematic of our impending future? There is a housing affordability crisis crushing the younger generations. Traditional careers are out the window and financial stability is not something to be guaranteed. Even when working more than 40 hours a week and putting up with horrific conditions, and what can only be described as criminally low pay, having an education no longer guarantees the ability to save for a deposit on a house. It doesn't even guarantee a person can afford to pay rent, let alone achieve the milestones previous generations have been able to do with relative ease. Why not burn through the money you have, live for the now, and burn it all down?